Hi everyone, welcome to my art journaling channel. It's Niamh here. Today we're going to be looking at how I hand letter quotes into my journals. So I'm starting off with this background that was made with, I think, watercolors or Lindy's Magicals, something like that. It was water reactive, so I did want to do something that sort of I could put glue and bits and pieces over the top. So I decided to grab out this stencil just with a little bit of white paint and to stencil over the top, just to give it a little bit of texture, I suppose, onto it, and to also give me some space where the water soluble paints underneath were kind of protected by the gesso. But you can see how effective it is, particularly on the orange, where you sort of get that contrast of the stenciling. So once I've done that, I'm then just drying off my page, and I'm going to stick a large image in that I had been previously playing around with. This actually came directly, I had to do a supervision in the art class at school, and they were learning about cross-hatching, and I had to do demonstrations. So I photocopied a whole heap of sketched faces from the internet and made them A3 sized, printed them out, and then the students had to go in and fill in the details with cross-hatching or line work. And I had so much fun with it. I took the spare pages home and just kept doing it. So it's something really, really fun to practice shading with, and also so that you can have a stack of images to put into your journal if you are ready for that. I did find, though, that it really does depend on the pens you use. So you notice when I turned over, I'd obviously used permanent marker on it. I had a Sharpie at school and it was quite thick, and sort of you can see those really thick black lines on it, which was good because the students could see what I was doing. But when I got home, I had my fine line pens, and sort of down the shirt and stuff, you can see how much more delicate the line work is down there. So no, play around with what you've got. So this one's all about hand lettering though, and this is what I usually do. I'm just going in with my paint pen and writing on my page. I'm trying to leave a little bit of space between my letters, and so that I can extend them and make them a little bit fatter and fill in the space so they look like they're perfectly placed where they're supposed to place. I don't measure out where I'm going to go. Quite often my stuff isn't written in straight lines. You can see here it's a bit up and down. You can see that my letters are sort of different sizes as well, and at different heights, and not necessarily on a straight line. I know that probably bugs some people, but that's just the way I quite like doing it. But each to your own. The reason I write out with paint pen first is usually on pages I will have the background either all collaged and sealed with gel medium or acrylic paint, so that I can put wet acrylic paint over the top, and if I get it wrong, I can just wipe it away with a wet wipe. Now, if I tried to do that in this page, it would actually smudge and smear, because I have actually got blank pieces of journal page there, and I've also got the water soluble paints there, so it would smudge those and reactivate those, and the paint pen would have soaked into the actual fibers of the paper. So just be aware, if you're scared to go straight in, use a pencil first. I'm just pencil phobic when it comes to things like this. So once I have widened up all my letters, so you could see as I was going, I was creating sort of almost triangles around the tops and bottoms, and then widening up. Basically the bits that you want to widen are your downstrokes, so like the long stems of the L's and D's, the Y, the K, and just whichever side you tend to have the thicker side, just continue it on. So for your O's and so on, most of my heavier strokes are on the right hand side, so on an O, that's where I'm tending to have the darker side. It's not necessarily always consistent, to be honest. I just do it now and don't really think about it, so sometimes it varies, but if you need a rule for it, try and keep it consistent. One thing I do keep consistent though is when I'm doing drop shadows like this. So again, it doesn't matter which side you do it on as long as you're consistent. So I do it on the bottom left hand side of each of my letters so that I get that shadow to pop the background out. One thing I have found is if you really want to make a shadow pop out, use a warm grey texture or alcohol marker just to do a shadow there, and you'll actually get quite a deep shadow and make it really look like it's floating above what you're doing. So I hope you have a go at hand lettering something in your journal. Again, practice makes progress. Just have a go. If you muck it up, you can always paint over it or stick a collage images over it and try again on your next page. But it really isn't as scary as you think it will be. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, bye for now.